Any of these 3 simple mistakes can wipe out all of your wholesaling profits. And the tough thing is, by the time you realize you've made these mistakes, it may be too late because they're not obvious. No, I'm not talking about non-refundable assignments or forgetting to do a septic inspection or, have a buyer back out on a property or canceling a contract or anything like that. No, these are subtle mistakes in your business that so many investors make, and they don't realize that these mistakes are costing them thousands and thousands of dollars. Okay, let's get into it. The first one is lead apathy. See, I run a PPC agency where we run Google Ads for investors, and Google Ads generates extremely high quality leads that aren't the cheapest leads, so you need to make sure that you are on top of every single lead. And on average, our clients get a deal every 15 or 20 leads, but we analyzed our top investors who are getting a deal every 8 to 10 leads to try to figure out what are they doing differently than everyone else. And we uncovered a few things that I didn't expect. The first one is every time a lead comes in, they don't just call them once and get a voicemail and then try again later in the day. No, they don't just call them twice in a row. They call them 3 times or 4 times in a row. That's right, back to back. You get a lead that comes in, call them once, it goes to spam. Call them again, they don't pick up. Call them a 3rd time, they'll pick up. They don't pick up, you try one more time. 4 times within 1 minute. It may seem aggressive, but because of all the cold calling regulations and spam filters and on phone hardware now, becoming increasingly difficult to reach out to people who aren't in your contacts. The second thing is if they don't get a hold of the lead, they'll actually drive to their house. That's right, completely unannounced. These leads are so valuable. If they don't get a hold of them right away, they will literally drive to the property and see if they're there, and they'll say something like, "Hey, I was just in the area and I saw that you filled out a form on my website, and I just thought I would stop by to see if I can help or if you had any questions." You don't want to be too aggressive, but you definitely need to make sure you get a hold of these leads right away. Because think about it, if they're filling out a form on your website, they're probably filling out a form on other people's websites right away. These leads are super competitive, and it's oftentimes the first person who gets to the lead is the one who gets the deal. So how do you know if your sales system is good enough or not? Well, so what you need to do is you need to go back the last 3 months, look at all the leads that you've gotten and see what percentage of them you actually got a hold of. The best investors get a hold of 80 to 90% of the leads. I just talked to an investor today. We're running a campaign for him, and he got 25 leads in his campaign so far, and he hasn't gotten any deals. And he was saying, the campaign, isn't working the way I thought it was. But when we actually took a look at his leads, we realized 40% of them he never got a hold of. So we did an audit, and we made some suggestions, just like I'm telling you, of how he can improve his process and how he can take the leads more seriously. See, just because your marketing, isn't working doesn't mean it's necessarily the campaign. It may be something in your sales process that needs to be fixed. But this next mistake is much more severe. Wrong outsourcing. I really don't like talking to leads. One of the first things that I outsourced was sales. I hired someone to handle the phone for me because I couldn't be on the phone all day. But the thing is, because we're a marketing and sales business, if you're outsourcing sales, you're literally outsourcing the business. And I know I talked about doing JV partnerships where you can do the marketing and hire someone to do the sales. So I don't want to sound like a hypocrite here, but you don't want to outsource sales too soon. That's the important point. You see, you need to look at everything that you do currently on a day-to-day basis. Make a list and go through them line by line and put a dollar per hour next to every single item of what it would cost you to hire out that specific task. So if you are doing heavy negotiations on the phone, what would it cost to hire a professional negotiator to do that? If you're sending emails to title companies or sending out email blasts, how much would it cost for someone else to do that? So you need to look at the list, and the first thing that you should outsource should be the cheapest dollar per hour things on that list. Oftentimes it's admin work and things like that. So outsource that way before you ever outsource sales. The third one may be the most important: brand neglect. Yeah. Most of us are just sending out yellow letters or calling random numbers and introducing ourselves as Joe Homebuyer without any brand. But the most successful investors that we work with, they all care very much about their brand and work very hard to have a strong brand. So what do I mean by that? Well, they have a website with a nice logo They have a lot of reviews on their website and on Google. A Google My Business listing that has a lot of reviews is important. I recommend at least 10. They have a nice about page that goes over their company values, their mission, etc., etc. The person that's on the website that the seller will see on the about page or in the company videos should be the same person they talk to on the phone and the same person they see on the appointment. You want to have brand consistency. It helps build trust and credibility. Like I said, we're competing with other investors here, and especially if you're doing online marketing, you need a way to stand out. Otherwise, again, you're going to lose deals to other investors and you won't even know about it. Go ahead and Google, cash home buyers in your market and look at the top 5 Google results. Click on their websites, and I guarantee you will see very well branded companies. If you're sending postcards out to people or texting people, I guarantee you they're going to Google your company name, your name, and your phone number. And if they go to Google and type these things in and you don't show up anywhere, they're probably not going to call you back. Having a strong website and putting it on your direct mail pieces is going to increase your response rate, or at least make the leads that do call you much more likely to work with. These things may sound like not that urgent, but I guarantee you, if you went and looked at all the leads that you've gotten over the past 6 months and you looked up every single property address, you will find leads that have sold to other investors that you never got a hold of. Implement these 3 things now and then call me to help you with a Google Ads campaign.